How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. This is our Monday through Friday UAP news channel. I know it's been a little scattered this week. As you can see, I'm moving things around, but we're getting back on track. But doesn't mean that the news moves on without us. So we are going to be covering some big things here today. And again, thanks to Pavel, who was able to cover one of these big stories that was going on over the last couple of days. So thanks for everybody who's been tuning in. If you have tuned in and you've been tuning in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Get us to 25,000 subscribers. We're trying really hard. We're moving as fast as we can. So this is a big story. This is big news all the way around. We've talked about it on this channel. We've talked about it on the long-form podcast we do on Tuesdays. Schumer and Rounds, they put together this bill, and everybody pretty much said, listen, the thing's been gutted. How much they really are going to be able to get done with this thing, who knows? Well, what has been done, and one of the things that was passed, was the fact that you saw in this article is that federal agencies have to deliver any UFO reports for public disclosure, and that's including classified material. Right, and this is a breakdown. This is an article that came out, but this is a breakdown from Mike Colangelo, and here is the actual breakdown from Mike. As I said, federal agencies must deliver all UFO reports for public disclosure, including classified materials. Federal agencies have until October 20th to deliver every document, audio, and video that they have about UFOs to the U.S. government for distribution to the public. The National Archives and Records Administration issued the instructions this month, putting into action the UFO Disclosure Amendment to the 2024 National Defense Authorization Act as signed into law last December. The guidelines reveal the latest strategy to compel unwilling parts of the U.S. military and the intelligence community into revealing everything they know about the mysterious airborne events now called UAPs. The move comes 2 months after the Pentagon's UFO office issued a controversial report to Congress claiming it found no verifiable evidence that the U.S. government or private industry has ever had access to extraterrestrial technology. NARA archivists have issued guidelines mandating that all UFO or UAP documents be delivered in electronic formats with detailed metadata for inclusion, a new searchable database to be made available to the public. The database will include classified material that NARA will store independently, and it will keep it safe, keeping the records until they can be declassified for the public. Now, there's also a full article in the actual link that Mike had put there, but I also put it in the link of the description. Okay, so what does this actually mean? Now, the naysayer in me, in the way that all this stuff has been happening over the course of, I guess, 70 or 80 years. If I was going to say that over the course of a year, people who've been following this topic forever and be like, over the course of the year, buddy, this has been happening forever. I know that it's one of these things where you're like, well, this is big news. They said, like, okay, we're going to be knocking on the door now, and now that everything you have, you got to give to us. I just feel like these are the people who've been covering this thing up forever. What if they go, yeah, but we told you we don't have anything. Yeah, but we know that you do. We don't. But we know you do. We don't. Give it us. We don't have anything. We know that you do. We don't have anything. That's what I feel like is going to happen. Knocking on the door. We know things are here. Where is it? Give us the files. We don't have any files. That was just Jim, drunk one night, driving around in a thing that looked like UFO. I promise. We don't have anything. And that's what I feel is going to happen. It's like, okay, they're knocking on the doors, but don't tell them anything. Why? Because how are they going to prove that we have it? That's at least in my head. Now and this is why Pavel's going to be in a second to maybe tell me if I'm wrong about why this is actually more hopeful. And the question is, is this on the hopeful side of things? If this is one of those things where it's like, look, there's just so much happening right now, and there's so many people talking. The Sean Kirkpatrick caught in a lie thing happened. That brings more validity to a lot of different things that are happening, and less validity to me to that Arrow report, because if that's the guy out there and he's clearly telling lies, I don't know why I have to believe him. And then you get the stuff that's happening with Lou Elizondo, and you're like, if you didn't know that Lou is apparently getting threats, and had to make a report that He's mentally healthy. He's all these, and he made these reports to the public so that if anything happens to me, you know what happened. I mean, that's clearly people are making even more reports. So the question is, or more threats rather, is the question is now, is this more serious to where they're like, okay, look, there's only so much we can cover up now. This is the first time, this is the first thing that has ever happened like this, where the government is actually asking us to give them declassified stuff so they can show it to the public. What do we do? Do we just say this is it? It was a good run. The secrecy, they got it. This passed. Let's show our cards. That is a hopeful situation. That seems very unlikely. But this is why I bring in Pavel to tell me, out of all this stuff, of what I just said, how much of it sounds like lunacy, how much of it is actually too much skepticism. Let me bring him in. All right, there he is. Pavel, good to have you, my friend. I missed you. We didn't get a chance to talk over the last couple of days.
What's up, Kristian? How's New York?
It's doing all right, man. It's doing all right. So yeah, okay. As I ask you time and time again when we do these together, as I do my little diatribe up top, what did I get right? What did I get wrong?
Essentially, these agencies that are keeping the tech are the CIA, the Air Force, the Pentagon, and the Department of Energy. Those are the ones that allegedly have these tech. The problem is that when the UAPDA passed and was signed into law in December, the private agencies, private corporations were supposed to be part of the eminent domain clause. And as you know, that's
Yes.
the part that was gutted.
Yes.
And that's the not so hopeful part of it. But thanks to Matt Laszlo, we've been getting news in the past 2 or 3 weeks that they are pushing for public hearings before that date in October.
Mm-hmm.
October 20th is the date. And I'm thinking that because of these threats that Elizondo got, it's because they're over the target now. And these public hearings actually are sounding more and more likely in the channels, you know, because I've been asking around and I've been talking to James Fox, for example, and I've been getting also some reports that a lot of people have been threatened since the Fugel stuff happened. How's that potential Fugel interview going? Are we getting him soon?
Still in the
by the way?
works. Still in the works.
Okay, because that's going to be very important for to get new information on it because of what happened to Elizondo. And I think it's all tied up. It's all tied together, you know? So, yeah, there is a hopeful side to it, definitely, especially because the public hearings are being pushed very hard right now.
Okay, but explain this to me, though. So when this report comes out that by October they have to give up all this stuff, like what is stopping them from saying essentially what I said before, which is we don't have anything? What do you mean? The Arrow had their report, and Arrow said that they didn't find anything, and you guys are just knocking on the door saying we have to give you everything. We don't have anything.
They are going to give them everything, but they don't have everything. Private corporations do. That's what the eminent domain clause was important.
But didn't it say
So
that?
they
But didn't
will-
it say that in this report that the private companies have to do it too?
No, they don't because they
Okay.
have the eminent domain. It was essentially that, and also Ross Coulthard, who is also a lawyer, if you didn't know,
Yes.
he talked about this. He's like, I'm on the side of the private corporations. They have absolutely no right to take anything from them because it's protected by law. They're private. So that's what's happening right now. That's what's gonna eventually push for the public hearings before October 20th. But also, there's another part that it's important, I think, because some of these documents that are going to be delivered, they are still under the clause of classified and exempt from disclosure. It's called.
Yeah.
And these documents are going to be delivered to NARA, but these agencies have to explain why they're exempt from disclosure. And if they don't give a decent explanation of that, we may get some important information that we haven't gotten because they're deeply classified and they do have some documents that have information, you know, but they don't have like the smoking gun.
Well, the one thing that could happen is if what you're saying, if the government part of it, because it totally makes sense that if the private companies don't have to give them anything, and that's where you think the majority of it is, whether it's Lockheed Martin or whoever. But if the government has to give records, the one thing that could come out of it, if they actually did give up the records, which I still don't think they would do, but if they did, well, then it would also negate what Arrow said. It would also negate a lot of the basically sticking your head in the sand type situation, saying, "Oh no, this never happened," or the denial. It would essentially have admittance of the government to say, "Yeah, we were lying, and there is actually stuff, and here are our documents. We are aware of it. We just don't have any of this stuff." That's even if you're holding them accountable and saying you have to give us what you have, you would assume the stuff that they have would give proof that there is other stuff out there, right?
Yeah, and I think that what happened last week with Kirkpatrick is a major reason this happened today, because Arrow just fumbled the ball essentially with Kirkpatrick, with that image that we all saw. They fumbled the ball, and yes, they're gonna be really in deep trouble if something like that happens, if that information turns out to be contrary to what Arrow reported.
I'm so curious of if the fit hit the shan, behind the scenes with, when that Kirkpatrick stuff happened, because it's quiet, obviously, and you're wondering, you're like, did you know this picture existed? Did you know this picture existed? How do we, and then I don't know. Or was it just like, we can cover this one up. It's not a big deal. Has there been any response from Kirkpatrick on that at all?
There's chatter about what happened there, because Kirkpatrick, it was really strange that right after he left Arrow, he started doing a media tour.
I know.
When he wasn't part of Arrow.
With a handler.
And that was strange for a lot of people who's investigating this.
Yeah.
And when the picture came out, it was like, now it makes sense why he was doing that. And there's a possibility that he didn't tell his superiors about that picture, and he knew about it and he didn't tell them. And I got some really sensitive stuff that I need to tell you, though, because I was trying to get a scientist who is very important in the effort. I can't say the name or the gender of the scientist, but they were essentially about to give me the yes, I can do the interview with you. And right after what happened to Kirkpatrick, this scientist was like, forget it. I can't do it. I'm being pushed. Something's happening right now. Things got weird and I can't do it. And they canceled. And that was like, holy crap. So this is really serious, because when I heard what happened with Elizondo, I was like, okay, that makes sense. It's all tracking. And also with James Fox, he was supposed to go on Rogan, and there was this audio that got leaked on Twitter where this person was saying that Fox told Rogan that he couldn't do it because he was being threatened. And I reached out to James, and James was like, no, there wasn't any threat, but there's something happening that I can't say. And I told Joe that I couldn't do it.
So Fox,
I had to cancel.
So James Fox cancels and Bill Nye, the science guy, cancel, right? So either way, things are going down. So thanks, Pavel. As always, man, I appreciate the insight.
Of course, man.
Okay. So I'm still in that. I mean, I think that I'm in the same position that most of you guys are in, right? Where it's the positive side of this is, all right, listen, if you actually get the government to admit, yeah, that Arrow stuff, we maybe weren't being as truthful and we didn't have all the information, or they make Kirkpatrick the scapegoat. Like that's what could happen here. He knew about it, but we didn't. He never told us. And he had all these files and he was lying the whole time. That rat, and they put him as the scapegoat. You could see that happening. But if that happens, that starts to blow the lid off of it, because if they actually do get the government to say, yeah, here are our files, and we had information that says there were reports that maybe there is a reverse engineering program. There is. Well, then the trail starts to go to those public hearings, and this trail starts to go to passing that actual ability to put more pressure on the private companies. Because if the admittance is there, but if they do what they do well and have been doing over the course of the last 70, 80, how many years, then in my head, and I'm sure most of your heads, you're thinking they're going to knock on the door and they're going to go, we don't have anything. We don't have anything. Yeah, Arrow, that report was true. We got nothing. You want to search? Go ahead. Search the offices. We got nothing. That's where I tend to believe. Now, do I think now that there's other people out there that if you ask the question of whether or not they think that the government has anything, they'll tell you, no, they don't have it. They would have given to us. That I don't feel. They got it. They're just not going to show it. But what do you think? Put your comments in there. Let us know. And that's it. I want to thank Pavel. I want to thank you guys. And I also want to thank you guys because as you've been supporting this channel, the way we stay on the air, the way we do this is from our sponsors. So I have a link to our sponsors. It's always the first comment in the Down to Earth comment section. So go on over there, support us if you can. Thanks for joining us here today, and we'll see you on Monday. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I'm excited. I know summer's right around the corner. I'm wearing hoodies right now, and I won't be because it's starting to get hot. And I am excited because I just learned about Chubbies. Chubbies is a lifestyle apparel brand that makes every moment feel like a vacation. So they say that fashion is an expression of one's character, so why not let the world know that you're down for a good time? I need swim trunks. That's what I need. I need swim trunks. I need comfortable shorts, and that's what Chubbies has. They have all of it. And I got big thighs, guys. I got big thighs. So I needed shorts that I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to look good in these. I want to walk into my house. I want to put them on. And I did this. And I said, it's all about what my wife thinks. And my wife went, whoa, new shorts. Nice. And I was like, I'm in. And I like the old kind of Mike Tyson shorts, you know, for me. And that's what I had. They had them. They had those kind of like black shorts. I liked it. I like the black colors. I like blue colors. They have every type of color. And that's what I like about Chubbies. They got a different variety of high quality men's apparel. So it's great. Stretchy shorts, all of it. Comfortable shorts. The best. So for a limited time, Chubbies is going to give our listeners 20% off your order with our exclusive code. Use that code DTE at chubbyshorts.com. Again, that's DTE at chubbyshorts.com. You will enjoy these. You really will. And I think that it's high quality and it's summer. It's right around the corner. I know everybody's looking for shorts, bathing suits, all that. This is where you go. All right. Thanks for watching. Go get some shorts.